In this tutorial, I'll be learning how to make a wide leg trouser. Some call it palazzo trouser, just like the one that you're seeing in this video. Note that I didn't add any pleat to the waist line. So if this looks like what you like to learn, then this video is for you. Watch till the end. My name is Veronica Adams Eze. Welcome to Vera Adams YouTube channel. Right here is the pattern paper that I'll be using for this tutorial, and I've gone ahead to draw the starting line, and from the starting line I'm marking 9 inches, which will represent the hip line. I'll also go ahead to mark from waistline to knee line, and this is 24 inches. Please note that this is an high waist trouser. I'll then move over to determine the length of the trouser I want. For this kind of trouser, it has to be very long because of the wideness, so you have to make it quite long. So I'll be using the length of 45 inches. Once this is done, we can move ahead to the starting line, which is the waistline, and start imputing horizontal measurements. The hip measurement I'm working with is 37 inches. 37 inches divided by 4 will give us 9 2/4. I'll go ahead to mark that on the hip line and also on the waistline. I'll connect these points together to get a straight line. For the crotch depth, I'm going to be marking 11 inches from the waistline, and this is about 2 inches below the hip line. Right here, I'll also measure 9 2/4, which is a quarter of the hip measurement, just as I did on the hip line and the waistline, and connect it together. Now that this is done, you can move ahead to the waistline to take a quarter of the waist measurement, which is 6.5 inches. Then I add 1 inch for the dart, and then I'll connect it to meet the hip line. Then I'll mark 1 inch right on this line and connect it to meet this waist measurement here. So once this is done, I can move down to determine the crotch extension. For this, I just divide the thigh measurement into 2, and whatever I get, I'll add 1 inch. But for this, because I want it a bit free, I decided to add 2 inches all the way. So right there, I have a total of 15 inches right from that point. I realized that using the curved part of my ruler did not give me the perfect shape that I want, so I went ahead to use my marker pen to trace it out, and this is what I want because the other one was just too deep. Now I can move ahead to the bottom area to get the width for the bottom. So I went ahead to mark 10 inches here for the bottom. I'll go ahead and mark same on the knee line. So I'll connect this together from the floor length to the knee line, and from the knee line to the crotch extension, just as you're seeing me doing here. Because we came down by 1 inch on the waistline, the crotch measurement has been shortened by 1 inch, so I'll go ahead to add back that 1 inch right there, and then I'll connect it together as so. At this point, we can start cutting out. You need to keep watching if you want to see how we arrived at that free flare effect that we have on the trouser. Now that we are done with the drafting and the cutting of the front piece, we can move ahead to the back piece, and for that I'll bring in a new piece of paper which I'll be putting underneath the front piece. So right here, I will mark 2 inches away from the front piece, all round from the top of the paper to the bottom of the paper, 2 inches from the top to the bottom. I'll then connect these points together right from the top to the bottom, after which I'll cut it out so that I can get the kind of shape that I have for the front also on the back piece. I didn't realize that my camera wasn't recording at this point, so let me quickly explain what I've done here. So from the 1 inch slope that we came down by on the front line, I went ahead to mark 1.5 inches. You can do as much as 2 depending on the size of the butt of the person you're making this for. So I went ahead to connect it to meet that 2 inches that we came out by for the back. And then I went ahead to add the waist in measurement. Rather, waist measurement is 6.5 inches. I added 1 inch for that, 1 inch for seam allowance, and another 1 inch for the zipper. I later realized that was too much because the 1 inch for seam allowance could actually help to insert the zip as well. So I've gone ahead to trace out the crotch extension for the back, and I'm extending it forward to meet the waist measurement that we have for the back as well. So now I can continue with the cutting of the back piece. So I have gone ahead to remove the pins that I used to hold the front piece to the back piece together so that I can have enough room to cut it out. So here is the 1.5 inches extension that we came up by. This is for the butt, for it to cover the butt properly at the back. Now that we're done with the cutting of the front and the back piece, we can now move ahead to cutting this out on the fabric. The fabric that I'm using is a crepe fabric. I've gone ahead to fold this fabric in a bias form. I'm sorry you can't really see it well, but I folded it in a bias form. But it's okay if you can't do this in a bias manner. You can still do it in a straight manner depending on the amount of fabric that you have, because I actually bought 3.5 yards of fabric, and this is for a small size person. This is the front piece. The one before this was the back piece, and the width for the bottom is actually 24 inches, so you can do as much as 30 and you can do lesser depending on the amount of fabric that you have. So right here is the front piece. I actually went ahead to pin it together because this fabric is actually a bit stressful. It doesn't stay at one point, it's always shifting around, so you have to really pin it together. So here is the back piece as well, so we can go ahead to start joining these pieces together. So starting with the back piece, I'm going to mark 1 inch that we left for the zipper allowance right here, and I'm going to be tracing it down. I'll be marking 7 inches, and that part will serve as the zipper space. Then from there we can join it down to the crotch area. And here is the front piece. I'm going to be stitching with 1/2 inch from the top right into the crotch. So this is what it looks like after I sew it down. So I'll bring in the back. I ran a loose stitch at that zipper area, then I did a normal stitch right to the crotch. So after this, I'm going to go ahead to take the dart, and I'll be taking that of 1/2 inch and 4 inches long. But before I do that, I'm going to mark 2 inches below the waistline, and this is because I want to attach pockets. So I'll go ahead to notch this. I'll also repeat this same process on the back piece as well. Immediately after the 2 inches notch, I'm going to mark 6 inches, and I'll make a notch right there also. So here are the pocket pieces. You can see that my hand fits in, although I wish I had cut it a bit bigger than this, but because I don't have so much fabric left. So I'm going to place the pocket right side, facing the right side of the fabric, and then I'll pin together right from that 2 inches notch to the 6 inches notch down below. And I'll go ahead to sew it down after pinning. I'll do this on the other side of the front piece as well, and I'm going to repeat the same process for the back piece also. Now that I'm done with this, I'm going to go ahead to bring in the front piece and then place the front piece and the back piece together, right side facing right side, and then I'll run a stitch there. So I've gone ahead to do that and round the stitch right from the top to the pocket region down to the bottom of the trouser. I did that for the other side as well, and I've also gone ahead to take the dart around the waist for the front and the back pieces. Then I went to pick one leg of the front and one leg of the back, and then I joined it round till I got to the crotch area. I made sure that the crotch area for the back and the front aligned. Then I stitched it down to the other leg as I'm illustrating here. Now I'll bring in the band. Here's the band we'll be using. The width of this band is 3.5 inches. I've gone ahead to fold in half an inch, and the width of the band that I want at the end of this is 1 inch. The length of the band that I have here is a bit over 30 inches, but what I actually want is 26 inches, so we can actually cut off the excess later on. I've gone ahead to loosen the loose stitch that we made at the back piece so that we can pass our band across from that point. So here I am folding the band into two so that we can get the midpoint, which I placed the mark on. Then from there I will attach it to the center of the front piece. Yeah, but note that we would not be sewing it from the front side, rather I would take the band to face the inner parts. That means we're not placing right side facing right side. The right side of the band is facing the wrong side of the trouser. So from that point I'm going to be pinning down till we get to the back that we loosened for the zipper. Then I'll go back to the center and then start pinning down till we get to the other end of the zipper area as well. So once we're done with this, I'm going to move to the sewing machine to stitch this down. So here it is after we've stitched down. So now we can go ahead to cover it up, and then we'll sew this down from the right side. As you're seeing me folding in, that's how it would be. Remember that we folded in 1/2 inch. That's the essence of folding in the 1/2 inch. So you just follow that pattern already. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please click on the like button, and if this is your first time here, do well to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Once we are done sewing this down, we can go ahead to attach the zipper right here. So here is what it looks like after I attach the zipper, and I attach this zipper in such a way that the seam is not visible on the right side. I'm sorry that my camera could not accommodate the wideness of this trouser, so this is me trying to navigate it so you can see from the front side, the waist, and then the bottom of the trouser, which I'm going to go ahead to hem.